Alright, Ulm, turn 51. This was a mostly good turn. Doing a little more summoning. Finished Evocation 4, going to Construction 7, so that hasn't changed. Let's get the bad news out of the way first. More tire portents. Globals, start to go up in the mid game and the late game a lot more, as you can see. This one is worse than normal. Because this is Niflheim that cast this, so that's the guys we're fighting. Yeah, I forget the name of this, but this just increases, I think, his resources and money that he's getting. Hang on, let's see if we can. Let's go through the battles first. Anyway, yeah, it's not the most powerful global, but the fact that our opponent cast it, definitely makes it worse than those other ones. So we lost a raid here, but in the good news department, we took a lot more territory back. Most of these are raids. We moved out with our army. We didn't catch his army, unfortunately. Or sorry, no, this is the throne, which we are now besieging. And then let's see here. Yeah, I think it's this. So we didn't catch the army. But there was a Jarl here, so this is still an important battle. So let's see, yeah, pretty much still the same strategy, sending in the gargoyles. I still don't think I have fixed. Yeah, they're still fatiguing out really quickly, but still, doing their job. I think, yeah, we've probably this is a guy we've fought before, because he's got this limp. And so yeah, foul vapors going down, throwing a little fireball, but yeah, it's just against the province defense here. It probably doesn't really even have the range. You can see like this is pretty common, you put the super combatants all the way in the back of your deployment zone so that people can't mess with them, but flyers flyers can still mess with them. Honestly, yeah, if he maybe moved them like among the PD, yeah, I think I have these guys set to attack rear. So that could actually cause some problems. Yeah, setting our own guys on fire with fireball. Precision is a serious problem with projectile spells. There's definitely things you can do to improve it, like Eagle Eyes is a spell, aim, wind guide. So yeah, I don't think we've cast those. Unfortunately, it looks like he made it through. So yeah, he's got his invulnerability, he's got his soul vortex, but he is really poisoned. I'm not actually sure. He is extremely fatigued, more than normal, I feel like, and I'm not sure why that has happened. Yeah, I don't think the limp, shouldn't affect his fatigue. So anyway, that is good news. The Soul Vortex is bad news because, yeah, here comes our Greatsword guys. But, yeah, he's already taking damage. I'm pretty sure that's from, well, it could be from the Foul Vapors. But, yeah, regardless. And then, of course, he can eat these Fine Ogres. So, yeah, he's got his regeneration and his Soul Vortex and his little Shocky Shield. But, yeah, our Greatsword guys, you can see, like, when they all make contact, they deal a lot of damage. So I think, yeah, all right, sweet. So that's really good news. Another Jarl down. And the more of those guys we can kill, the better. And I think, yeah. So we did lose a shaman, but we got his sword back. And we got some more gear from the Jarl, another ring regeneration, which is really good. The rest of this gear is solid. We'll take it. So yeah, it hurts to lose a shaman. And the gargoyles are not cheap. But the Jarl is extremely expensive. I don't know, was that guy a hero? And then of course there's all his gear. He has a lot of gear. So that really hurts from a gem standpoint. Definitely more than makes up for the gargoyles we're losing. No, this guy's not a hero, but he does have experience. So like, especially the guys that are heroes, like, yeah, he can recruit another Jarl, but they're not going to be heroes right away, right? So like, in some senses, it's a bit irreplaceable losing those guys, or at least you can't quickly get them to be a hero again. Unless I feed them my whole army. But yeah, I would never do something like that. again. Anyway, so yeah, this was an excellent win. It is a shame we didn't catch that army. Let's take a look. Let me see if I can find this global that he has now. So yeah, his army moved up here, which is not what I was anticipating. It does look like he is trying to go for this fort, so I was half right. But yeah, I was expecting him to just try to jump on right away, but it looks like he consolidated first, right? So he has 6 jarls here with this army now. And so yeah, I would say it's ready to rock. It's probably coming. I mean, I don't know. I was wrong before, but I gotta believe it's coming here this turn. So yeah, but then we have this under siege now, which is good. I think, let's see here. Yeah, so I mean, we're starting to break down the walls. Like this is a good rate. We should crack it like next turn or the turn after, which is not too bad. As sieges go. And we're bringing in I think some more troops here. Yeah. And again, like the mindless guys are pretty worthless on the siege defense, but for trying to break down walls, they work just fine. So yeah, so probably we'll break it next turn with the reinforcements. And then I think, oops, this is enchantment, that global that he cast. It should be an earth. Yeah, you can filter the research with the different. It's just a keyboard. So like if you just want to see the earth spells, it's E. And then like astral's kind of a weird one because it's S, because A is the air magic. Anyway. Yeah, riches from beneath. So yeah, we don't have the research for this quite yet. And yeah, we don't have the gems for it anymore either. So yeah, and then this also, you kind of have to be set up for it a little bit, I believe, because you want high dominion, and then I think you also ideally want good resources to start with. So I think this can be helped by taking like resource scales. So it is one that you probably want to plan for a bit, but I mean it's never bad, and especially too like if you find a bunch of mine sites, which you can't control. Like maybe you find a lot, maybe you don't. But yeah, if you have a lot of mine sites, that can help. And I mean, some of the mines are really good. I don't know if I have any. They're not uncommon. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, you can find like gold mines and stuff. So yeah, sometimes you'll like run into a province where it's just it's like there's almost no population there, but like it just has like this really big income, and it's like, what is going on? And it's usually like a mine, like gold mine or silver mine, something like that. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, he is, if he has any mines, he's getting a lot more money and resources out of them now, which is not good. But, killed a Jarl. And then, yeah, this province has this site in it, and so yeah, it's increasing the heat, and that is why. So yeah, I mean, it is summer right now, right, which you wouldn't know from our lands, because yeah, I mean, this is that cold dominion at play. So like even in summer, it's not quite cold 3, but yeah, still cold 2. So yeah, still pretty cold. But yeah, I mean, this has actually got some heat dominion. During summer anyway. So yeah, I mean, if we can take a battle here at some point, that is going to help. But yeah, I mean, he's probably going to try to avoid it. Although it's actually kind of a centrally located province. Like he can't actually move through these, I think, ever. And that's like these province connections will tell you like a little bit about movement between them. So I believe this green is like roads, so movement is just easier than normal along them. I think that's been edited into this map. I don't think the random map generator usually creates roads, and you can't really see them on visually on the map unless the map creator was nice. And sometimes custom maps they'll actually like draw roads in and then set up the provinces correctly. Anyway, yeah, you don't see roads too much. This is just a normal connection here, so you see those a lot. But yeah, these connections here, I believe, so these mountains, these can only be crossed when you have enough heat scales. So you like usually summer. I forget the exact, I don't know if neutral is enough. You might need like heat 1 or heat 2. I forget the exact breakpoint of when units can move through. But yeah, I mean, since we both have Cold Dominion, like these are basically never passable. But our guys can pass through because they have mountain survival. So yeah, let's see here. So yeah, like this guy can move through. So anyway, I don't think most of his guys. Let's take a quick look. Where are you, Nephilim? Here you are, Loki. Yeah, I don't think most of his guys, have mountain survival. So they might be cold giants, but yeah, they do have snow move, which is important. That makes sense, because the snow just normally slows down movement speed for like all units. Like if it's snowy, then it's like usually you're just moving like one province a turn, unless you're really fast or like a flyer, or you have snow move. So yeah, our guys also have snow move, and then most, I think all of them have mountain survival as well. So it's actually pretty easy for us to move through here, because I mean he took this back, and I believe this was a Jarl. So yeah, I mean this is good news, right? Because again, like this is he's not going to be able to link up, and then especially too, right? Because he can't easily move through this mountain pass. Like he's got to go all the way around. Well, okay, not quite. He can jump from here, but still he's got to go around these mountains. So like unless he wants to wait a long time, and you usually don't, because I'll be building up. He won't be able to join into this combat. So just another reason that raiding around is really helpful. And then of course, like any movement advantages that you have can be really useful. And Ulm is pretty mobile. That's definitely one of EA Ulm's strengths. Is just really good mobility with like the snow move and the survivals, and like I mean 14 isn't a ton, but with all, I think they have forest survival as well, and forests are pretty common. So yeah, they have better movement than you might think, just from being a bunch of humans on foot, which is cool. And then especially with the stealth, you can pop up in unexpected places. So he's probably going to be attacking here. Doing some more forging, more great swords. How are the great swords doing? Yeah, got some more, and then these Girdlemites are pretty good, because just some bonus strength will help them deal more damage. Reinvigoration is never bad. On thugs, probably not so necessary on some of our guys. Well, not on the if I'm giving the swords to like these guys, the girdles aren't really necessary for the reinvigoration. They're pretty unlikely to fatigue out. But for the casters that have the swords, they're going to generate like a decent amount of fatigue, buffing themselves, right from the get-go. So having some reinvigoration on them, so that it brings it down, is going to help. If they end up fighting a long time. Which, I mean, there's a good chance that they won't, because either they're going to kill them or the soul vortex is going to get them. But anyway, the strength doesn't hurt, and getting their fatigue down a little bit before they enter combat is also going to help. So yeah, making a few of those. Still moving around. Oh yeah, that's the scout. This raiding party, I believe this is the archers. They're just hanging out, especially, I'm not 100, I think this army's going here, but, you never know. So I think I'm just sort of waiting to see, like, what this does, before I start, like, raiding again. And especially too, I just took back a lot of stuff, so feeling good about that, feeling like, okay, I don't necessarily need to risk like all my raiders, while this army is still sort of unaccounted for. Once it jumps on top of this fort, I mean, it's not a guarantee, obviously people can always move off. We've seen that before in this game. But they're a lot less likely to, because you bring a force like this on top of the fort. If you move off the fort and you don't leave anybody, then like all that damage, I think, just immediately gets repaired. So you lose all the progress on the siege. So, people don't really like to move off, once they've started breaking down the walls, because, it's wasted time then. So anyway, with that army tied up on the fort, then I can start, raiding again, and just being a nuisance. So yeah, pulling this army back, not patrolling, which is kind of interesting because I was trying to take a battle last time. Of course, now, with all of his Jarls consolidated, yeah, I mean, that's going to be pretty dangerous. So I have a little bit of PD in here, so, when he moves onto it, I'll get to see exactly, what is in this army. And how it's deployed, and obviously he can change up the deployment in between me seeing it and then the next turn, but a lot of times people don't. It's more micro, it's more work, and you don't necessarily, you get a formation that works and it's like, okay, like let's use that. It can be risky to just switch up your formation just to switch it up. That said, like, if you do move things around, I mean, we saw that with the monolith, where I was expecting it to be in the back like it was before, and it issued orders for my guys, with hopefully getting flight to like fly back to the back, and kill the monolith, and then whoops, the monolith is out in front now. So yeah, I mean, you can definitely mess with your opponent, by moving your formation around. But I mean, definitely I'll get to see, what is in it, and kind of think about, okay, what is my response going to be? And then also, by moving these extra troops in, this army will be quite large. I'll probably be able to peel off, some additional troops to support a breakout. So yeah, that's probably why I'm just moving in and not trying to patrol as well, because it would have been advantageous to take a fight here, but here with his Jarls consolidated, in the cold, it's like, yeah, maybe it's worth waiting, for more guys to show up. So yeah. I think that covers it. No major battles this turn, other than, killing the Jarl is critical. Let's see, yeah, research. Okay, yep, we talked about that. Same plan. So yeah, we'll see. That was turn 51. All right, Ulm, turn 52. So yeah, just a few more troops, still kind of low on gems. So yeah, there was a couple battles. We got raided here unsuccessfully. This is kind of cheeky. He was just trying to use his scout to take a very lightly defended province. This is just one point of province defense because I'm kind of strapped for cash. And I mean, this is why you always want to put, another reason you always want to put one point of province defense in, because otherwise, like, yeah, the scout would have just taken it for free. And people usually do have scouts running around, so you're sort of just giving provinces away. If you don't put a point of PD. And that said, like, this is his national scout, right? So, I mean, he's a giant, he's a little tougher to take down. And he's even sacred, although, he's not a priest, so he doesn't have any way to bless himself. Kind of odd. You don't see a lot of sacred scouts. But anyway, he is not really helping him. But, I mean, he's still a giant. So I mean, yeah, like this militia, like, I got 2 militias, or I think maybe one of these is light infantry, and a warrior chief. So yeah, I mean, this could have worked, definitely. I think just, our warrior chief here, in the light infantry doing a little bit of work. But yeah, you can see the militia didn't do so hot. But yeah, the warrior chief, is, the almost troops are good. So yeah. The type of province defense that your faction gets, like, can definitely matter, right? Because, like, not everybody gets, a cool warrior chief that can just take on a giant, like, almost, not quite solo, but yeah, almost solo. So yeah, I mean, it's just something to consider. For some nations, it's a little more advantageous to invest a little more in province defense if the troops that they get are kind of better. And then also sometimes you need to think about, when you're trying to raid, it's just like, oh, they always get like a priest, or like they always, if they put in enough province defense, they're going to get like a nature mage, or anyway, sometimes they can actually get like some, commanders, or their troops just, happen to match up really well with your thugs, or really badly, in which case you're like, great, I can raid really easily, into heavier than normal province defense. So yeah, it doesn't come up a ton, but yeah, I mean, sometimes it matters who is leading your province defense. But anyway, that was not a bad idea on his part. I hadn't thought about, like, oh yeah, giant scouts, like, not terrible raiders. So yeah, and then he did jump on. on our fort in Old Man Mountains. So let's just take a quick look at what we're up against here. So yeah, I mean, these guys, I don't know if we've seen all of them before, but we know them. And he's got one for whatever reason a little farther up here. So yeah, and then here's these Rimvetti, which I don't know if we've seen before, maybe. But yeah, they have pretty good stats. I mean, they are getting boosted. Let's see, how much are they getting boosted? Yeah, so they're getting +2 because it's cold 2 right now. I think it's summer, so it's actually something to consider. Some factions, it's like, better to attack, during winter or summer. I mean, definitely, like, the Dominion is usually going to overpower it. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it's summer right now. We'll double check that, but I think that's why it's only cold 2 here instead of cold 3. Yeah, so I mean, it's, kind of pretty small difference, but every little bit helps. So yeah, attacking into Niflheim in the middle of winter, or at the start of winter especially, like maybe wait a couple turns. Anyway, so yeah, these guys have pretty good stats. They're size 1, so they're going to pack in really well. They don't have magic weapons, although I guess it doesn't really matter against us. So yeah, and then they have some ice protection, so they're just going to get more prot, although they still don't have very much. But yeah, more prot where it's cold. They also have a chill aura. They're stealthy, which is kind of cool. Not really relevant for the battle. And then yeah, not a lot of hit points. MR is decent. Morale is not great. So yeah, I mean, these guys are good, but not as scary, honestly, as like I was. I was a little worried because I wasn't too familiar with these guys, but yeah, maybe against some other factions like this chill could be a lot nastier, but again, like all of our units, it's like, yeah, although we won't really be using regular troops, so the terracotta warriors and stuff will definitely care about that. But yeah, these guys, because size 1, so they're gonna get taken down by evocations and damage related spells, and we can definitely cast some of those. So and then yeah, he's pretty light on the mage support. I mean, other than obviously like the Jarls are technically mages. I mean, they're mages. They're really powerful mages. But I say technically because, I mean, they're mostly going to be focused on just buffing themselves, right? Rather than assisting this army, probably. He could switch it up, and maybe like cast like some big buffs, on his army and use it that way. But I don't know. You don't invest like this much gear, in these guys and then like use them just like as support casters. Like that doesn't seem likely to me. Still not seeing a lot of poison resistance. This guy has it. So yeah, this Hydra skin armor, that's actually really good in this situation because it gives him more regeneration, which great. And then basically immune to foul vapors. So okay, that's probably a switch. But yeah, this guy doesn't have any. And yeah, then this guy doesn't have any, and yeah, this guy doesn't have any either. So that is good news. And we got this random McGarthan guy. It's just hanging out. Not sure. Oh, she's diseased. Okay, well, burden of time. Well, no, she's not old age. Yeah, I don't know. Just got disease somehow. Happens. So she's got some nature gems and is a nature caster and like probably going to be doing poison ward, similar to me. So that could be bad if it lands on the Jarls. But I mean, he might also be trying to hit the troops. Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell with his positioning. It could go, anywhere. It can be kind of hard to control, where those like limited area buffs go. It's also possible there is like an army-wide, foul vapors counter. I think it's Serpent's Blessing, but I think you need higher nature than this. I'm not sure. Double check. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this looks like the only mage really that I can see that is going to be supporting this army. And yeah, I mean, these hurlers, if they hit with the boulder, but they have pretty low range. Their precision is actually better than okay, yeah, it's getting some bonus from the experience. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they have a ton of these boulders. Yeah, just like 2 of them. So like, yeah, I don't know. They're not very good in combat. And then yeah, he's got just these like regular warrior giants who also like aren't super impressive in combat. So I mean, I don't think this army is really providing like a ton of combat power like on top of these Jarls. So yeah, I mean it's a lot of Jarls, but I mean, it's good news that the army isn't like super scary and, you know, full of a bunch of other scary casters. So I guess that's good news. Yeah, and we killed a Rimvetti with, you know, our minimal province defense. So that bodes well, maybe. Yeah, what it does do is it breaks down the walls pretty quick. So I mean, this is like our best fort because this is the one that we found. You know, this forgotten fortress, so we didn't have to build it, which was lovely. In fact, I think, yeah, we've only built, oh no, we've got 2 forts now. We've built 2 forts. Okay, that's good because we stole this one. Oh no, 3 forts. All right, yep, so that's good. Anyway, this fort is yeah, it's better. It's got double the wall integrity, I think, of even our capital. Yeah, but even still, it's, you know, it's almost cracked. It's gonna get cracked next turn. And I mean, you know, we're kind of seeing, like, I do have a few regular soldiers in here, you know, who are contributing solid siege defense, but you know, these, even though I have a lot of stuff in here, most of it's mindless. So, you know, I mean, it's like, it's really not contributing any, like, none of these guys, they're all like mindless. So, you know, yeah, a lot of strength, but doesn't matter on the defensive. So yeah, I mean, and then of course also, like, you know, he's got a bunch of giants out there. But yeah, still, normally if you had like regular or non-mindless troops in here, you know, you'd have more time to react. But yeah, so we're breaking siege, and, you know, bringing this guy in, yeah, for air elementals, like, kind of minimal. There's not a whole lot left in our capital. We've sort of brought out almost everything. I mean, you know, we have a few researchers like left in places, like, yeah. But I mean, like, mostly, like, this is it. This and this is like kind of like the whole strength, you know, of Ulm right now. And it looks like I'm moving almost everything in. So I am maintaining siege with probably, yeah, just like my regular troops. Because, I mean, yeah, we've seen how that goes with the Jarls. So they're just going to hang out and maintain this siege. And, I mean, they may die. Right, if he has enough stuff in here, and I do think there were some Jarls in here, so I mean, if he chooses to break out with them, then yeah, like, these guys are screwed. But he may not, right, because he doesn't know that this army is going to move off, you know, and I mean, this, you know, this is definitely something that, you know, could kill Jarls, so he might be a little hesitant to poke his head out. So, you know, we'll see. But anyway, moving pretty much everything, you know, onto here. And, like, yeah, this is probably going to be at least one of the battles that's going to decide the war. And then we're also going to try to take advantage of our elf aspects. So right now, like, this army is his army. Is actually, like, kind of in a bit of a risky spot, because he doesn't have a ton of places that he can retreat to, just these 2 provinces right now. And if you have nowhere to retreat to and you lose a battle, or retreat off the field, then you die. Like, you just, you know, you lose the whole army that way. And that would be great because, you know, while we can rout, I mean, we have been killing some Jarls, but like 6 is a lot for our guys to cut through. But you know, with the we have panic research now. Let's double check. Are we researching panic? Or sorry, are we yeah, so we're casting some panic. Probably, yeah. Here's some more panic, and then of course, you know, foul vapors. So you know, we're gonna be leaning on the morale plays, like, kind of hard. And let's see, has he boosted it? Okay, so this guy's got 20. I think that's the one. Yeah, this guy's got 16, 23. Okay, that's a little rough. 18. But yeah, I mean, the morale still is, you know, not fantastic. You know, so we're going to be attacking it with a panic and with foul vapors, and then we have raiding parties loose, right? And this is the advantage of stealth, you know, and this is, again, why people hate elves, myself included. So we're going to be attacking in this province, I think, with our archer group, and then we brought just some axe warriors out, you know, to attack. So they're going to be, like, sneaking and attacking into this province here. And then we're going to be this is just, some more raiding here. Now, I mean, he could definitely open up a retreat path. Like if he breaks siege here and wins, or, he moves this army from his capital to retake this, then he'll open up retreat paths, and this play won't work. So, I mean, this is definitely a stronger play, if you can better lock down like retreat paths. I mean, like this will work as long as he doesn't react to it, which is, not ideal. But I mean, it'd be great if we could do this, but I don't want to, you have to win the battle too. And I mean, I don't know. Yeah, there's like more Jarls down here, so, and like a, decently sized army, it looks like. I mean, 130 if you believe the scouting report. But certainly a solid amount of units, with the Jarls. So, I mean, trying to block this off is going to be kind of a tall order. It's like, okay, now I really need to like plan on winning 2 battles against these kind of forces on the same turn, splitting my forces. So, yeah, I mean, I just decided it'd be better to, not risk like losing this battle, and just sending everything in. And then, hey, if cutting off the retreat works, great. If it doesn't, then, well, we'll cross that bridge, when we come to it. So yeah, pretty much, we looked a little bit at the plan, in terms of like the panic and stuff. So this is the full, like just all the stuff. So, we got some whites, we've seen all these elements before, definitely. We have like some lines of skeletons here that we've brought in. And this is, we do have to change the strategy a little bit, right? Because, we saw that like he's got that line of Rimvetti and his giant infantry. And I really don't want, like those guys are good enough that there's a chance that they'll kill some of our greatsword guys. So we're going to have to fight our way like through his infantry first. So these skeletons are a little bit faster. Where are they? Let's see. Yeah, here's some. I mean, they're not fast. They're slower than our mages. But, they're just going to be... This is actually like a side group here. Where's the main line of them? Nope, another side group. Yeah, okay. Ooh, they're going to be holding. Okay, that was maybe a mistake. Maybe just should have had them go forward. Because, yeah, the Vine Ogres are faster. So having them, I thought they were just going to attack. Attacking would have been better, because then we could have sent them out, first, and then hopefully, like, chew up those Rimvetti a bit. I mean, these skeletons aren't great. Like, the Rimvetti are going to beat them. But, we just need to create some gaps. So, they don't have to win completely. Like, the rest of our troops coming in, should be able to handle it. And then, related to that, so we've got some casters who are going to be casting Maws of the Earth. I don't think we've seen this one yet. Maybe from some other players. But anyway, yeah, this is a really effective spell. It costs gems. 1 earth gem. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty good area of effect. The range is a little low, although if you have a higher level caster, that range is going to be increased. Very fatiguing, like, right, like unless you have a really high level mage, like this is probably going to be it. Just cast one cast to Maws of the Earth and they're going to be done. But I mean, 15 plus damage, right? Again, I mean, it's just better to have higher level casters when you can, generally. Not for every spell, but certainly for this one and for a lot of them. You just get more range, more area of effect, more damage. So yeah, and it doesn't affect, flying or floating, not relevant here. But yeah, I mean, 15 damage is solid. That'll kill those Rimvetti, and especially too, because they're packed in so close, it'll kill them real effectively, kill a lot of them at once. And then also it does, Earth Grip, which is, we've seen that before, like just your standard, like Earth Meld kind of effect. So anybody that it doesn't kill, is a good chance that, their movement, and attack and defense is going to be messed up for a little while. So yeah, this is a really good spell. You need decently high earth to be casting it. And yeah, I've got it scripted on here twice, and I do think he'll be able to get through it, because one of the things, he's got, more gems than he needs, right? So Maws only costs 1 earth gem to cast, but you can always use, well, okay, not always. I don't want to go too deep into the, path discussion, but as long as your mage is high enough level, they can use a gem to reduce fatigue. They boost themselves up by 1 level as they cast it. So it's like it's just a temporary. So like this summon Earth power boosts him by 1 level for like the whole battle. But you can use a gem as you're casting a spell to just for that one spell boost yourself 1 level higher. And then of course that reduces the fatigue, and you get benefits. Any of this stuff, you also get some benefits from that. Now of course this is more expensive, right? You're burning more gems, so I could get away in theory. I think I don't actually know what the Earth level is, but assuming this is level 3 or level 4, because he's going to boost himself up to 4, you could get away with 2 gems, right, in theory, and for 2 casts of this. But realistically, if all he was doing was 2 casts of Maws of the Earth, then he could probably pull it off, because the first cast would put him up to 100 fatigue, so he'd fall asleep briefly, and then he'd wake up, and then he'd cast another Maws of the Earth, and then he'd probably be done for the battle, right? I mean, he'd be close to taking damage from fatigue, near 200 fatigue, so you probably wouldn't see anything else out of him. And if you lost the battle, he would probably die because he'd still be sleeping. So you could do it that way, and that costs less gems. But I mean, I have a decent amount of Earth gems, and so this way, because with this script, right? So I mean, he's going to get 20 fatigue from this. Well, a little less because this is only, I know this one is Earth 2, and he's Earth 3 because he's wearing. Normally he's just Earth 2, but I threw these Earth boots on him, which boosts his Earth magic. This is a little pricey to do. On a lot of nations, you don't necessarily want to do this, but we've reduced item forging costs, so it's a little, and we have a lot of Earth income, so it's not so bad on Ulm. Certainly for like bigger spells, it absolutely is putting boosters, on your battlefield casters. It's a little risky, because I mean, this is a 10 gem item now that I'm risking. And also too, like not everybody can make Earth boots. So like, for somebody, they win a battle and they're like, oh man, I got Earth boots. It could really, you could be opening some doors that you would rather leave closed for your opponents. So, something to consider anytime you're risking like, these really valuable items. But yeah, I think it is worth it for me in this case. So anyway, yeah. So since he's already Earth 3, this isn't going to be 20 fatigue. It's going to be reduced. But anyway, so he's going to stack up some fatigue from that. He's going to stack up some more fatigue from Iron Skin, some more fatigue from Temper Flesh. So he's going to be going into his first casting of Maws of the Earth, at, I don't know, maybe like 30, 40 fatigue. And so in that case, if I didn't have the gem, to reduce his fatigue, like he'd probably be Maws of the Earth and then done. Maybe not, like, maybe by the very end of the battle he'd wake up again and do another one, but it would probably be too late to matter. And you could forgo all of this, obviously, right? You don't have, like, just do the Maws of the Earth, but this is just going to help keep him alive, in case, because I mean, there's going to be boulders flying around and stuff, and so, I mean, yeah, I usually prefer, to try to protect my mages, especially because he's going to be carrying these boots, so I'd really prefer him not to die. So anyway, yeah, he's got more gems than he strictly needs, but it's going to help him get through his script. So yeah, anyway, Maws of the Earth. And then, yeah, we've seen the sword guys and stuff, the undead, Curse of Stones, still throwing that out. It's like, but, hey, I mean, at least some of the, like, Rimvetti and his regular giants have a lot lower MR, so more useful in this situation. More Maws of the Earth, some resist lightning, we've seen all that. Yeah, Winter Ward, summoning air elementals, just flying stuff to throw at them, some lightning bolts. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, here's some of that Eagle Eyes to help with precision, some Sleep Clouds, which will be better in this case because, again, we're up against, these clouds. When you're taking an army against a super combatant, clouds is like, not so great because, you're probably just going to hit your own guys. But in this case, we have a whole army to target, so I think Sleep Cloud is going to be a lot more useful. Yeah, let's see, some more lesser air elementals. Some poison resistance. That's just on himself. Yeah, more Maws of the Earth. And these guys are pretty far forward positioned, because, again, like, the range is not great on that. And, yeah, I mean, just, he's summoning a lot of, like I said, this is pretty much everything. Here's some AoE poison wards. We've seen that, the wisps and stuff. More more trash. I haven't actually seen any swarm. It's probably in there somewhere. And then foul vapors, of course. So yeah, you know, just a bunch of stuff. And then of course, like just all the chaff. Honestly, like maybe like too much chaff. I mean, in this case, we are up against an army, so like these, you know, terracotta warriors and the skeletons and stuff, like absolutely, you know, can kill those giants and Rimvetti and stuff. So yeah, they definitely have more of a place here. But yeah, I mean, this is maybe arguably like too much. But you know, hey, we got it, so we throw it in. Got our god in there, so yeah, I mean, hopefully it's enough. I don't know, 6 Jarls and an army. You know, we'll see. And yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. We did have some eliminations, I think. Yeah, double elimination. Abyssia, you know, we've been seeing that happen. That's not surprising. Pelagia, they're an underwater nation, and you know, I mean, like, who knows? Total mystery to me. Doesn't really matter for us, you know, yet. I mean, hopefully not ever. Fighting the underwater nations can be a bit of a hassle for the land nations. So yeah, and then I don't think we saw anything else interesting in terms of our scouts. You know, just more, you know, rating and stuff up here. And I think the research, yeah, is the same. So yeah, that's turn 52.